Alright guys, so with Alien Romulus on the way, I gotta start going through the Alien movies. And yes, I will be talking about the Alien versus Predator movies as well. I'm not gonna do the Predator movies, because I mean this new movie doesn't really tie into the Predator movies, I'm assuming. And the Predator movies, you know, we're getting another Prey movie and things like that. So I'm just gonna wait till that happens and I'll do all the Predator movies. But I will be talking about the AVP movies. Yeah, so but today we're talking about Alien, which is, you know, the second time I've watched this movie this year. A, because this movie's really rewatchable, and B, because it's the 40th anniversary of this movie this year. And it played in theaters back in April, and I had a great time seeing that in theaters. It was a great theatrical experience. Very good. I think, honestly, this movie is honestly done a disservice from watching it at home. Like, if you haven't seen this movie, you should watch it, obviously. It really doesn't matter if it's on a home video. It's a great experience. The best way to watch this movie is like 8 o'clock at night. And it's dark out, and you turn all the lights off, and then you watch this movie. Because it's a quick movie. It's only an hour and 56 minutes. It's not a very long movie at all. It's not even 2 hours, right? And it moves constantly. The first act of this movie is pretty slow and methodical and very swift with its pacing. But then you get to the second act, and the more and more that happens with them getting on when they go back on the ship and the mystery of what's going on, is so you get more engaged, just a slight bit, and it keeps going, and then there's more intrigue of what's going on. Then that fucking thing burst out of his chest, and it all goes downhill from there. And that's really the magic of this movie. It is just everything in a movie, because it's science fiction with interesting plots and pacing to it, but also like horror. It's funny. Like, you enjoy these characters. They have a great dynamic, and there's just all these different layers to what makes this movie so good. Of course, the special effects in this fucking movie are terrific. I believe this movie won Best Visual Effects back in, what was this, 1979? Yeah, 1979, when this movie came out. And you can see why. I mean, there were great movies at the time nominated. I forget some of the ones that were nominated. But, like, in any other year, those movies probably would have won. But this one won, and you could totally understand why. Because you watch this movie, and it blows your goddamn mind every time you look at those visual effects. I mean, all this shit looks real. And there's just so many things I forget about every time I watch this movie. I forget about the dude who's a fucking android every time I watch this movie. And every time I watch it, and we get to that part, it's so creepy, but also funny and just dark and fucked up. I love all that stuff. There's just so much I love about this movie. The score to this movie's great. Also, how much Ridley Scott was influenced by Star Wars with this movie doesn't really get talked about. He even talks about how, the reason that the spaceships look the way they do in this movie is because he watched Star Wars. And he's like, yeah, I mean, I kind of wanted them to look dirty and grimy like the spaceships in Star Wars, which wasn't really a thing that was popularized in movies. Like, spaceships in TV shows and movies, they all look very clean. But Star Wars made it look dirty and grimy and lived in, and you can feel that in this movie. And I feel like that's really good, because it helps you further get into these amazing character dynamics. Everybody's fucking great in this movie. Newt is great. Sigourney Weaver's character is great. Just everybody's fucking great in this movie. And it's just a really great paced movie. It's super engaging. It's horror. It's fucked up. It's beautiful shot. It's got amazing fucking cinematography. It has so much to say. But also is just a fun horror science fiction movie that is just fucking phenomenal. Stay tuned for my review of Aliens next week, which I'm really excited about, because I actually get to dive into the 4K for the first time, which I haven't watched since I bought it, because I bought it to watch it for my Alien series of reviews. So let me know your thoughts, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.